Hey, Tony talking trash about music here, talking trash about a lot of stuff. But anyway, please do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe for us here. Today I want to talk about one record that some of you collectors may know. I mean, this is maybe for a select audience, selected portion of our audience, which seems to be really diverse and likes a lot of great music like we do too in many different areas. But I'm a huge ECM collector. I'm also a big Herbie Hancock collector and the Crusaders and bands like that and the Headhunters and what I'm talking about now is probably one of the most expensive ECM records, which I was able to pick up down in Shepherdstown at my Admiral Analogs down there in Shepherdstown. My man wasn't down there at the time, but somebody was down there for him. I got this off the wall. It's really exciting because I've seen these around again. What am I going to say about this? Well, you all know what ECM's like. You all know what ECM music is like. This is an extremely rare collectible record. I'll give you a hint about how much I paid for it. There you go. But it's put up as avant-garde jazz. Is that true? Well, not really. I mean, if you know the Headhunters and you know what happened with them and you know the style of what they had, this is not like this. This could be a Blue Note record. This could be on any experimental jazz label. And I'm telling you, most of the time you think, okay, it's an expensive record. It probably sucks. Because I bought a lot of ones that, were the hardest ones to get. And maybe the reason they were hardest ones to get was they weren't very good. Dude, this is the rare one where an expensive record is a freaking cooker. This is like top. This reminds me of the stew and the kettle was boiling around Miles Davis 1970. If you watch my videos, one of my missed opportunities was to see the Keith Jarrett, Herbie Hancock, not just Herbie Hancock, I mean the Keith Jarrett Chick Corea era, actually. But let me read you who's on this. You've got Betty Moppet on the reeds, voice and glockenspiel, Herbie Hancock, Chester Williams, Frederick Waits, Billy Hart, Billy Summers, and Charles Sullivan. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful record. And I can't tell you guys how much and how good this is. I mean, this is one. Let me see whether there's something on this. I don't know if somebody. You can't really tell with this. But I've got some little things on here. This is back in Polydor. This is ECM-1043-the. My suggestion to you, if you're a fan of any of this stuff, if you're a fan of Herbie Hancock, if you're a fan of some of the Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters, the Spacier stuff that they did, the septet stuff of that nature, this is really not this is a beautiful, spaced out record. This record is pretty wild. This is not what you'd normally say that you'd find in these kind of records. This is not a typical record for ECM at all. It does not surprise me. Is it more standard for ECM? It put it this way. What attracts me to ECM records is, as my friend in Germany says, at 45 RPM, the sound stage. But what I mean by that is that the way that the space is controlled and the way that everything seems to be always in an ECM record, I think that they place a lot of prominence on keeping space between the instruments. Acoustic space, whether in the front, in the back, through reverb, through room size, through effects. And you end up creating a record with more sound. And does this have that? No, but this has a different kind of brewing, like a brewing sound, almost like a New Orleans thing in the background of it. This is a beautiful record. This is something everybody should hear. And I know, go to YouTube tonight. Look at this thing. Look at this record, Jewel in the Lotus. I don't think it's anything. I think clearly Benny, it's probably as out there as Benny got. Because some of the other stuff that he did with the band can be groove like. It can be grooved like, but they also did a lot of great stuff. And unfortunately, sometimes some of the Headhunter stuff, the stuff that they accomplished was not, after they broke off with Herbie, was kind of forgotten about because a lot of people, just followed up for Herbie and but a lot of people got into it for that reasons. But here's the guy behind Chameleon, one of the big hits that they had, one of the big jazz hits ever, and crossover hits. And you would think this would be a crossover record. It is not. This is a MFer, and evidently Manfred Eicher was recorded here at the record plant. So it's an interesting record. Please check it out. Please, is it worth the money to get it? I'm an ECM nut. It was. I finally got a chance to get it under $100. I'd never seen under $100 before, but interestingly enough, I'd seen it pop up recently. So I don't know if it's on some reissue. Sometimes some of these people mystically know all of a sudden it's going to be reissued on a series. And of course, ECM's doing some of those series where they're putting stuff out again, rare stuff like they did. I told you the Annette Peacock at Acrobat's Heart was one of the ones that they put out, and certainly made my heart jump. So anything like this, guys, is great, and I'm happy to report it's not an expensive record. That's not a good record. This is a great record. This is probably the best record he made. One of the better type of these records that you can have, and I'm talking about spaced out horn, real respecting the space. Real slinky, real beautiful, just almost silvery, silvery clouds at sometimes. Just a beautiful record, and highly recommended, guys. Do me a favor, tell me if you know anything about this record, if you've heard this, if you're one of the lucky ones that has this. I'm going to get into an ECM groove one of these days here, but do me a favor, smash the like button, leave your thoughts about this record, anything about Mr. Maupin that you don't know, that I don't know. I know a lot of his work really, is not like this. This is probably pretty far out for him. And it's interesting it's on ECM too. Because typically ECM, some of Turjay Riptall stuff, some stuff can get wild. But, typically it's more of a jazz purist label, at least in my mind, when you've got, artists like Jan Gabarak and Keith Jarrett and stuff. I mean, Pat Metheny, it becomes, more of a straight jazz record. This is out there, man. Some out there stuff. Anyway, comes highly recommended. Smash the like button. Leave your thoughts below. Catch you next time. Thanks.